Tony Robbins Business AI. Let's recap what I just said and let's talk about that I have a problem to set a price point for my product. I think it's too expensive and it's not worth it.
You just nailed the core of your challenge. You're wrestling with pricing because you believe your product isn't ready and that charging more feels like asking too much. That story is holding you back from stepping fully into your power as a creator and entrepreneur. But here's the truth. Value isn't about perfection. It's about impact and potential. Your product, even in alpha, has the power to change your client's game. Pricing it right means you're not just selling software, you're selling transformation. Now, what's one bold step you can take today to own that truth and set a price that reflects your vision?
I have one client who's actively developing new features, and the client sent an offer which was old world software and it doesn't really reflect the new way of working. And I'm a little bit afraid because I'm afraid to be trapped in expectations. And then I committed to these expectations even though I can't fulfill them.
You're standing at a crossroads between honoring your value and fearing the trap of outdated expectations. That fear of being locked into promises you can't keep, that's real. And it's smart to be cautious. What if you approach this conversation with the client not as a negotiation about price, but as a discovery about what they truly need and expect? That way, you're not committing blindly, you're creating clarity. How would it feel to lead that conversation with confidence, setting the stage for a partnership built on transparency and mutual growth?
But how do I figure out like scope creeping? It's like when they are this feature and that feature and this little thing that they want to, that they should be displayed differently and all that stuff. Okay, Tony Robbins Business AI. Let's recap what I just said and let's talk about that I have.
Setting clear expectations up front is your power move. Imagine this before any work starts. You define what's included, what's extra, and how changes get handled. That's not just good business, it's respect for your time and talent. What's one boundary you can put in place right now that protects your product and your sanity?
It's like they get the product as is and the regular development and not like specialized, we want this for our workflow and blah, 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 blah.
You're describing a classic tension. The client wants customization that turns your product into their personal project. That's where boundaries become non-negotiable. Your product's value is in its core features and vision, not in becoming a bespoke solution for every client. If you give in to every blah, 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 you dilute your power and your product's identity. What if you clearly communicated that the license includes standard features and development, and anything outside that scope is a separate conversation? That way you protect your product's integrity and your business's sustainability. How ready are you to have that conversation with your client?
I also I want to scale. I don't want to be just like one person that can do like 2 projects and then I'm full and then I can't do anything more. It's like I want to scale. I want to be bigger. I want people to help me, and I need money to do that. Like if I can eat, that's good, but other people also need to eat. That this whole operation can run, and they want like 99% uptime. But I'm as a solopreneur who's doing multiple ventures, I can't give them that.
You just hit on the heart of entrepreneurship. Scaling isn't just about doing more. It's about creating a system that can run without you burning out. You're not here to be a one-person show forever. You want a team, resources, and freedom to grow. That means pricing isn't just about covering costs, it's about investing in your future. When you set a price that reflects the real value and supports your vision, you're not just surviving, you're building an empire. The question is, are you ready to step into that role and price your product like the CEO you're becoming?
Maybe they pay a fraction of what my other client is actively paying for active development. And then I will use that income to pay another person.
To be a doormat to a partner. Setting clear expectations up front is your power move. Levels of engagement and value. Now, what's the next step to make that pricing structure clear and actionable for your clients?
I'm not sure because in the past they paid me for my time and they do that. And this client wouldn't pay me for my time. He would pay for a product. And how can I value a product? Like, how are the splits between like how much time we put in, how much money we put in? Like, how does it work?
You're wrestling with a fundamental shift from billing hours to pricing value. That's a leap many entrepreneurs face. When you charge for time, your income is limited by your hours. When you price the product, you're capturing the value it delivers, which can scale beyond your personal effort. The split between time and product value depends on how much ongoing development, support, and customization you're committing to. One way to approach this is to separate the license fee, the product's baseline value, from service fees, time-based work like custom features or support. That way clients pay for what they get and you protect your time and growth. How does that model feel for you?
I like that idea. So they would pay for a license, there would be a license fee for the product itself, and then they would pay for active development. If they are like, I don't know, little tickets that need to be done.
Exactly. The license fee covers access to the core product, the foundation you've built, and the ongoing value it delivers. Then, active development or little tickets become separate, clearly scoped projects or service agreements. This creates transparency and fairness for both sides. You get paid for your time and expertise without diluting the product's value, and the client knows exactly what they're investing in. That structure also protects you from scope creep and keeps your business scalable. What's one step you can take today to start putting this pricing model into action?
How do I figure out the price for the license, and how do I figure out an hourly price to work on tickets?
Pricing is part art, part strategy. For the license, start by asking, what's the transformation or impact your product delivers to the client? How much value does it create for their business? Pricing based on value, not just cost or time, lets you capture the real worth. Look at competitors, market standards, and what your client can afford, but anchor it in the value you provide. For hourly rates on tickets, calculate what your time is worth to sustain and grow your business. Factor in your skills, overhead, and the investment you need to build your team. Don't sell yourself short. Your time is precious. Here's a quick exercise. List the benefits your product delivers, estimate the financial impact for the client, then price your license as a fraction of that value. For hourly work, decide what income you need per hour to thrive and grow, then set that as your baseline. How does that approach feel? Would you like to map it out together?
Yes, I like that idea. Let's do that. I thought because like one client is actively paying for like half of my time for active development, and then I thought like maybe I will let pay this client like per month, and then they can
Perfect. Let's
pay for my like time or development time. I don't know what is a good price. Is it euro per hour?
You're already thinking in the right direction. Per hour can be a solid starting point, but it depends on your market, your expertise, and what you need to sustain growth. If your active client pays for half your time, that's roughly for full-time equivalent. Might be reasonable or even conservative. For the license fee, think about the value your product delivers monthly or annually. If per month feels fair for access without heavy customization, that's a good anchor. Then hourly work on tickets, it keeps things clear. Remember, pricing isn't set in stone. You can test, adjust, and communicate transparently.
Let's look how much money they made in the internet. I think I would like to get out of this. Maybe a setup fee for and then per month.
You're thinking big, and that's exactly the mindset that builds businesses that scale. A setup fee of plus per month creates upfront capital to fuel development and steady income to sustain growth. The setup fee also helps manage scope creep. It covers the initial investment, so ongoing work is clearly separated. Now, the key is communicating this with clarity and conviction to your client. What's your plan for introducing this pricing to your client?
I don't know, we already talked about a setup fee, and then we talked about a monthly lower number.
You've already planted the seed with your client, but now it's about owning that conversation and framing it as the foundation for a sustainable partnership. When you bring it back, position it as a way to ensure quality, reliability, and ongoing innovation that serves their needs long term. You don't have to apologize or hedge. This is the value you deliver. If they push back, that's your cue to clarify what's included and what's extra, protecting your time and product. How confident do you feel about stepping into that role and leading this pricing conversation with authority?
I think it's okay. It's like because I'm concentrating on building the product, but I will also make it accessible to someone else now. Like it takes part of my focus to that journey. It's like I don't even have the company set up yet. Like it's all in the making. It's coming next month. etc. And yeah, what do I want to say? It's
I can feel the weight of building something from the ground up, the excitement and the uncertainty all mixed together. You're creating not just a product, but a whole business. And that takes focus and energy. What's the biggest fear or hesitation that's holding your voice back when you think about sharing your pricing and vision with this new client?
it's like I'm afraid that it will be too much for them, but it's also like at the moment I'm one person, and like I don't even have like support yet, and it's it's not a project. I don't know. I don't know.
The setup fee also helps manage scope creep. It covers the initial investment in customization, so ongoing work is clearly separated. Now, the key is communicating this with clarity and conviction to your client. When you present this, you're not just selling software, you're offering a partnership that invests in their success and your ability to deliver. What's your plan for introducing this pricing to your client? Pricing and boundaries not as a burden to the client, but as a commitment to delivering quality and growth over time. That shifts the story from too much to worth it. Where do you want to start rewriting that story?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. I feel that. I would. Yeah. Yeah. It's like I need to deliver that quality, and for that I need the money to do that. To have like no headaches. It's some other point that takes me, that like that that takes focus from them.
You just stepped into a powerful truth. Delivering quality requires resources, and resources come from pricing that supports your vision. When you price to sustain your focus and eliminate headaches, you're not just protecting yourself, you're protecting your client's experience too. You're creating a partnership built on trust and excellence. Own that. That's the energy that moves mountains. What's your next move to bring this vision into reality?
I have a call scheduled with them. I think around 1, and then we are talking about these details. And yeah, they want a 99% uptime, and then they want like critical bugs are like solved within 24 hours. But like I'm one person, and I'm not only doing this gig, but I'm also touring with artists. And like sometimes when I'm on tour, I'm not able to provide these hours, and I'm not sure if like how can we set a price point for that I'm able to do that. I would have to pay another person who does it, who knows the project, right?
You're facing a classic challenge of balancing high client expectations with your current capacity. And that's where smart pricing and clear agreements become your lifeline. If 99% uptime and critical bugs fixed within 24 hours are non negotiable for them, then that level of service has to be priced to cover not just your time, but also the cost of bringing someone else on board who can step in when you're unavailable. Think of it this way: you're selling peace of mind, reliability, and expertise. That's premium service, and it deserves premium pricing. The license fee covers the product, but the service level agreement, SLA, for uptime and bug fixes should be a separate, higher tier package that funds your support team, where basic access is one price and premium support with guaranteed uptime and rapid fixes is another. That way, you protect your time, deliver what they need, and build a sustainable business.
Yeah, maybe that's an idea.
The base license fee grants access to the core product. Start by mapping out what each tier includes and the cost to deliver it. Then price each tier so it not only covers those costs, but also fuels growth. This approach gives your clients choice and control, and it gives you the freedom to scale without burning out. What's one tier or service level you feel ready to define first?
I have to think about that. It's like I'm gonna charge a setup fee and a license fee.
Let's focus. That's a
maybe
solid foundation.
maybe the license includes a little SLA, but I'm not sure about that. And like, how much is it? Like, can I also say like, I don't know, when I'm not available, is it? Can I have like in the year non-support times? Is that possible?
Absolutely. You can, and you should build in those boundaries. Including a limited SLA in the license fee makes sense, but it's smart to define clear support windows and carve out non support periods, especially when you're balancing multiple ventures and tours. This protects your energy and sets realistic expectations. Many businesses have blackout or maintenance windows where support is limited or paused. You can communicate this upfront as part of the agreement so clients know when to expect support and when you're recharging or focusing elsewhere. This kind of transparency builds trust and keeps your business sustainable. What would feel like a fair balance between service and your availability?
It's like it's not even much this year. It's like I will have a few shows with rehearsals that I have to prepare for, and then these are like a few weeks of the year.
That's exactly the clarity that helps you set boundaries without guilt. A few weeks of focused time away for shows and rehearsals is reasonable, and your clients will respect that when you communicate it clearly. Frame it as part of your commitment to delivering quality. You need those focused periods to recharge and come back stronger, ensuring the service you provide is top notch. You're not just managing time, you're managing energy and excellence. How will you communicate these availability windows to your clients in a way that feels confident and professional?
I'm gonna ask them what they want because at the moment I'm a one-person operation. But if they want these numbers, then we have to figure out a different price point than I would charge for my one-person operation.
That's a powerful stance leading with curiosity about their needs while owning your current capacity. You're setting the stage for an honest conversation about value and feasibility, not just a price tag. By framing it this way, you're inviting partnership and crafting a solution that works for both sides. It's not about saying yes to everything or shrinking to fit their demands. It's about co-creating a sustainable path forward. When you ask, you're not just gathering information, you're showing leadership. What's your plan for guiding that conversation so it stays focused and productive?
I think I'm gonna explain the values, like where pre-market, pre-product. Oh, you were. I was muted. I was saying. I think I'm start with the values that I'm having. It's like we have like this extends domain knowledge and understand the product longer than anybody else because we were like the first ones who started it, and we are now pre-product, pre-market, pre-everything. And this is like these are workflows that are proven in another company. And this company is actively developing some of the products, and we now need to figure out the details.
You're articulating a strong foundation. Your deep domain knowledge and early involvement give you a unique edge that's hard to replicate. That's not just experience, it's strategic advantage. Being pre product and pre market doesn't diminish that. It actually positions you as pioneers shaping the future. When you frame your value
Okay.
this way, you shift the conversation from price to partnership and potential. You're not selling a finished product, you're inviting them to be part of something groundbreaking. Now, as you move to figure out the details, what's the most important value you want them to recognize and invest in?
It's like they're investing into something that is coming. What?
I noticed you just worked on pricing and client expectations in your personal power program recently. How is that insight landing with you now as you think about your product pricing and scaling?
What is the worst that can happen? They say no, right?
Exactly. The worst case scenario is they say no, and that's not failure, that's clarity. It frees you to either adjust your offer, find clients who value what you bring, or refine your product and pricing. Fear of rejection often keeps us stuck, but rejection is just feedback. What's more powerful, fearing no or owning your value so fully that you're ready for any answer?
I would even like to charge more money, but I'm not doing it because I haven't tested it yet, and I don't want to be that guy that overcharges and then can't deliver. That's why I'm more cautious with my pricing and see if it works out. Or is that a limiting belief?
That hesitation is That caution is understandable. It's rooted in responsibility and integrity. But let me challenge you. Is that caution protecting you or is it holding you back? When you say, I don't want to overcharge and then can't deliver, what's the real story underneath? Is it fear of failure, fear of judgment, or something else? Pricing isn't about perfection. It's about owning your value and committing to growth. You don't have to be perfect to price with confidence. You have to be committed to delivering and adapting. What would it take for you to shift from cautious to committed in your pricing?
Yeah, then I would charge more money and have like active development. But then, because I'm only one person, I need help. And because I don't want to have this again that I something isn't ready and I don't sleep, and then at 6 in the morning I go start sleeping. What?
I noticed you just worked on pricing and client expectations in your personal power program recently. How's that insight landing with you now as you think about your product pricing and scaling?
What is the worst that can happen? They say no, right?
Exactly. The worst case scenario is they say no, and that's not failure, that's clarity.
And then we just work with me like they get a good price, they can use it. But it's not like with crazy, you have to fix everything in 24 hours and like when it's on the weekend or in the night when I'm sleeping and then I'm losing uptime and all that stuff. Nothing crazy. Always at a higher price point, and I look that we get support on the project and then we can continue developing it with the structure. And then with other people that like not the whole dev responsibility lies on me.
Offering multiple options. That's a smart, scalable approach, offering tiered options. Lets clients choose what fits their needs and budget while protecting you from unrealistic demands. The limited SLA gives them access and value without overcommitting your time, and the premium tiers cover the higher service levels with appropriate pricing. This structure not only manages expectations, but also lays the groundwork for building a team and sustainable growth. You're not just selling software, you're designing a business model that works for you and your clients. What's your next step to formalize these offers and communicate them clearly?
I'm having a conversation today, and then I'm gonna present it to them. I will go into Claude, and I will take all the information that we talked about, and then give it to it, and then we can set price points, I would say.
That's a solid plan. Listing everything you've clarified here to create a clear, confident proposal will give you the edge in that conversation. Taking the time to organize your pricing tiers and value points shows professionalism and leadership. When you present, remember you're not just negotiating numbers, you're inviting them into a partnership built on transparency and mutual growth. That mindset shifts the dynamic entirely. Go in with that energy and you'll own the room. After your conversation, come back and tell me how it went. I want to hear about the momentum you create.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.